Hello, today's video is going to be on how to make a one-person brake bleeder from home. What you're going to need to do it is you're going to need your Sharpie, you're going to need a bottle, 1/4-inch clear tubing, there's about 10 feet here but you won't need all of it, pair of scissors to cut the tubing, your drill with a 1/4-inch bit for the top of the cap, and a measuring tape. We've got our measuring tape set to 2 feet. However, you can make this any size you want. I'm going to go with 2 feet because that sounds like a pretty decent length. You want to make the hose long enough that it goes in the bottom of the bottle and you can have enough outside the bottle to where it will plug onto the brake drum, wheel cylinder, or the brake caliper bleeder screw sitting upright. So you'll have it sitting like that. You'll have your hose coming out. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and drill the hole in the top of the bottle. After you've got your hole drilled, you want to go ahead and test fit your hose. Make sure it's going to fit. If it doesn't fit, you may need to either put the drill bit in the hole and work it around a little bit. In this case it doesn't fit, so we're going to have to go a little bit bigger. Or you can go one size bigger on your drill bit if you prefer to do it that way. So let's clean up this hole a little bit and then see if we've got it to fit. Okay, it took a little bit of work. We got our hose in. So you want to feed your hose all the way to the bottom of the container. And the reason that you're putting it all the way to the bottom of the container is because if you're doing a brake bleeding, you don't want any air coming up through the hose. That would be a little bit counterproductive. So you want to make sure you get your hose all the way to the bottom. If you have to open the lid, go ahead and open the lid. Make sure that you can get the hose down there. You want to get it down as far as you can. If you want to make a couple loops towards the bottom, that's good too. You can do that. Okay, as you can see, my tube is all the way to the bottom. So the reason that we have the measuring tape is because my original thought was to measure it out to about 2 feet and then cut it and then feed it in here and then cut it again. But we just kind of got carried away with the way things were, so we're going to do it this way instead. You want to put a little bit of extra hose down in there. See, just like that, a little extra hose. And what you'll do is if you get a long screwdriver or something that'll fit down inside here after you get your hose cut, you can seat that in the bottom of the container. So we've got our hose down there. So this is where your Sharpie would come in. And what you want to do is you want to give yourself enough hose. You want to give yourself enough hose to where it will connect to your bleeder screw. So I'm going to go a little overkill here. And I'm going to say that that would be good enough. So we'll go ahead and instead of marking it with our Sharpie, we're just going to go ahead and cut it. So we'll go ahead and we'll cut this real quick. You want to make sure when you cut your tubing that you cut it straight across. Don't allow it to go crooked because you want a nice flat, like this, very flat solid seal on your bleeder screw so that as you're pumping the brake, it's not escaping. If you were to cut this at an angle like some people may think of doing for the purpose of it will fit better, what will happen is you'll have a bit of a problem as far as, one, keeping it on the bleeder screw, and two, keeping air out. And the whole goal here is to keep air out. So we've got our container already done. Of course, you can adjust this as you need to. If you decide to buy the 10-foot, because this is 10-foot, vinyl tubing, it'll work just fine. You have extra in case you need to make another one. There's enough here I can make another bottle if I need to. This bottle here is your standard 20-ounce bottle, so you can make a mini size. Make sure though that you have no water in here, so in order to get the water out, I'm going to have to use some compressed air and blow it out real good before I use it. When you go to put your brake fluid in, you want to have enough to where it covers up the tube to about maybe right here where my thumb sits. You can go a little bit lower if you want to. What you want to do though is just keep an eye on where the bottom of your tube sits. So that's all there is to that. Have any questions? Go ahead and comment down below. If there's anything that you would like to see in depth, go ahead and leave me a message, and we'll see you next time.